Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, warm welcome to the session and very, very good morning to you all. Myself, I'm Lata, account manager from Bangalore, and I'm your host for this beautiful morning. And I'm grateful that you all are giving your valuable time for this beautiful Live 360 program. And I'm sure you all are enjoying this journey. So today, to share the knowledge, to enrich all of us in this journey. So we have our speaker, Dr. Sham, who is the Director for Innovation and Science. Let's welcome him, on a virtual stage with a huge round of applause. Dr. Sham, welcome and over to you.
Thank you, Lida, and a very good morning to everyone. Happy New Year to everyone from me. Today we have a very special talk by Aparna Damle. As you know, she's one of our top scientists at Innovation Science in MA. I'm very distinctly honored to have her here to speak about a very important topic which affects a lot of Indians, which is on a fatty liver and the importance of protein in addressing some of the fatty liver issues. But before she comes on board, I want to reflect on what I was doing a couple of days ago on setting up my goals for the year. And that's a very important aspect of my life to set certain goals. Yes, sometimes it is very hard to achieve. Sometimes I achieve it and exceed the goals. But what is important is to set the goals. So one of the tools I use on a routine basis is it's called a SMART goal. SMART, which is SMART. So smart. So what is S stands for? S stands for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, and T for time bound. Now, this you can apply this SMART goal anywhere in your life. It could be in your professional life, it could be personal life. So I apply it across the board, I must say. All right. So as we step into this new year, it was definitely for me a time for reflection. In fact, I wrote a note on all the things which we did as a family together, what we achieved, what I achieved personally in terms of fitness, all those things I did. But then, what is my this year's goal? So this year's goal, I used the SMART principle again. So first is let's be specific about the goal. So instead of saying I want to get healthy this year, we should say, I want to focus on eating 3 servings of fruits or 4 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. Right. So that is what I did. Right. So one of the goals which I set was to have this 3 to 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. That is one thing. But I also had another goal of losing. In my previous session, I said 10 kilo. It was not 10 kilo, it was 10 pounds, which is around 4.5 kg. So I want to lose 4.5 kg this year. So that was my goal, right? I am being very specific. I want to lose 4.5 kilos this year and have 3 to 5 servings of vegetables every day. So that is being very specific. For me, it gives a lot of clarity. Right. Second is actually measurable. So it's not just enough to say I want to lose weight, right? So as I was saying, in my previous session, I say previous SMART principle specific. So I'm being specific. Now this is also measurable. So when I say 4.5 kilo, I can measure it, but I can say that 4.5 kilo in 3 months. By quantifying our goal, we can track our progress and stay motivated. So I have my smart tools with me, my Fitbit, and few things like that, which helps me to monitor my body fat percentage. In fact, today I went to the gym. I did my body fat percentage. It was 16%, right? So it fluctuated. So I came down all the way from 26 last year. Last year, meaning I should say 2022, last year, to 16%. Why? Because I had set the goal. Actually, my goal was only 18%. So I overachieved on the goal. So I went to 16%. So it has to be measurable. If it's not measurable, it doesn't exist. Right? So we have to be measurable. So it has to say, so I aim to lose, 10 pounds in 3 months. Now, what is also crucial is it has to be achievable. For example, I can say, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds. Is it really achievable? It's not, it's not practically feasible. So I need to make sure it has some sense of believability. Right? It has to be believable to myself. Right? I can be over ambitious, but then what is going to happen? These are unrealistic goals, and it can lead to disappointment. Right? So it is, for example, if you're never run a mile, setting a marathon as a goal might be overwhelming. So start with simple thing. I will jog twice a week for 15 minutes. That's all. Right? So then you start building that up, and that's enough. Right? So if you aim for your 150 minutes of exercise, moderate to high intensity exercise, I can tell you magic happens. Right? Then smart, the R in smart stands for relevance. Relevance is very important. Your health goals should align with your personal values and long-term objectives. If your long-term objective is to, let's say, reduce my stress, I will not put weightlifting as my, I would not be going to do weightlifting. I'll be focusing on yoga and meditation, twice a week. So I will have that goal very clearly laid out in that way. So it has to be relevant to your life, right? So yeah. That's very important. It has to be relevant to your life. So finally, the T stands for time bound. So our goals needs a deadline. So instead of saying I will start exercising today, we have to start thinking about, hey, I will start a 30-minute walk every morning starting from January 5th till April 10th, right? Or you can say, and after April 10th to August 10th, I will have a 45 minutes exercise or walking every morning, right? So you can gradually break that down. So it becomes more manageable. So it is not overwhelming, right? So these are some things which I'm planning to do. So my 4.5 kg, I'm going to split that into approximately 2 kgs in 6 months, another 2.5 kgs by December. So that is my plan. So today I went to do my workout. I know that I have set the goal. Now I have to start going. Right? Of course, I was working out, even doing the couple of days, a few days of holidays last week. But again, I'm sure that setting goal is a very critical aspect, and setting smart goal is even more critical, team. So all my blessings, all my wishes, best wishes to all of you. I know you all can do it. You are the leaders. You are the leaders of your family, of your community, and you are the ones who will inspire me and continue to inspire us. You are here every day. So I'm so proud of your achievements so far, right? So let's continue on the path and you will succeed. So without much ado, let's bring Aparna on a very important topic which is so relevant to us today. Aparna, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Sham. Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. So happy to connect with you all in this new year with yet another new topic. And thank you so much, Sham, for setting the stage on bringing a very relevant topic on smart goals. Because just thinking that I will having resolutions, we need to also have to build in these smart goals, right, into our resolution. That's when we'll be able to achieve them. So, as Dr. Sham mentioned, today's topic is about liver and protein. Whether they are connected, is it good, is it bad? That is what we will learn all about today. So, let me share my screen. I hope it's visible.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So yes, so today's session is about liver, fatty liver in particular, and proteins. So before we jump into the topic, let's understand the importance of having a healthy liver. So liver, as we all know, is the largest internal organ and the largest gland, which is a workhorse of our body. It performs a lot of critical functions in our body, and therefore it's important that we maintain a healthy liver. One of the most well-known function of liver is detoxification, right? As the name indicates, it's about detoxifying uh, harmful chemicals or substances, right? Making it less harmful. So we are every day exposed to external and internal toxins. External toxins can be your medications, your alcohol, um, even your pesticides in the food, or it can be air or water pollution, or even sometimes chemicals used in our cleaning agents at home. Right? These are all different toxins which enter our body and which cause havoc in our body if it's not taken care by the liver, if it is not detoxified by the liver. Similarly, we are also getting exposed to a lot of toxins which are generated within our body, such as cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone which we all know, which is important for our body. But then if it is not taken care of, if it is not neutralized by our liver, then it might lead to various other mental conditions like anxiety, depression, right? So it has to be nullified, it has to be neutralized. Similarly, it can be histamine. Histamine is released as a response to some allergen, but then histamine levels has to be kept in check. Otherwise, there can be extreme allergies. Or it can be ammonia or urea also, which is produced as a byproduct in several of our metabolic pathways, which again are very toxic and they need to be converted to less harmful substances and eliminated from the body. The other functions are, the production of cholesterol. Now, cholesterol has a very bad name, but cholesterol is important for our body in the right amounts because it serves as a precursor or a starting material for several of important hormones in our body. For example, the sex hormones like the estrogen, progesterone in women, and testosterone, although both have these hormones at different levels. Even vitamin D, if it has to be synthesized on our skin, under our skin, due to the exposure of sun, UV, in spite of that, sorry, for that, cholesterol is required as a starting material. Similarly, storage of micronutrients. Liver is a storage organ, like various minerals, copper, zinc, magnesium, iron, etc. are stored. Lot of fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, K, B12, they need to be stored in our body for our long term use, and liver is the organ where it is stored. Similarly, the excess sugar in the body is stored in the form of glycogen in our body. It is important in the production of bile, which is required for digestion of fat, right? And it also serves as an antimicrobial. It is also involved in protein synthesis like prothrombin, lipoproteins. These are very important for various functions, like prothrombin is involved in blood clotting. Cholesterol transport is done by lipoproteins. Globulins like IgE, IgG, which you have heard, is important for various immune functions and so on. Similarly, liver has its own immune system, right? The portal vein, which brings in the blood rich in nutrients from our stomach, from our intestine, is fed into the liver, right? And this works as a filter. It has its own immune cells wherein it keeps on looking at various pathogens, and they keep on filtering those pathogens which are coming from this portal vein into the liver and is taken care by the liver, right? So that the rest of the body is not exposed to these harmful pathogens. It is involved in metabolism. For example, conversion of T4 to T3, which is a thyroxine required for metabolism, right? So T4 is an inactive form, while T3 is the active form of thyroxine hormone, and this conversion is done in the liver. It is also involved in detoxification of fat, right? Excess fat, we all know, is not good for our body, and this is kind of taken care by the liver. So with this, we understand how important the liver is for our body, right? But then there can be a situation where the liver is not healthy and there is excess fat stored in the body as energy reserve. Liver is the fat storage organ, but then there has to be a limit, right? Anything more than the required amount or the storage capacity of the liver will affect the liver functioning, and that leads to fatty liver. Now, fatty liver is basically deposition of excess fat, which can happen due to excess alcohol consumption, or it can be due to various other reasons. And basis that, they are divided into alcoholic type of fatty liver disease and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Let us understand a little bit more on the differences between these two type of fatty liver. Now, alcoholic fatty liver, as the name indicates and we discussed, it's because of excess consumption of alcohol, right? While non-alcoholic fatty liver is due to various other issues, right? Various other causes other than alcohol, which can be diabetes or pre-diabetic condition, or being obese, excess weight, higher lipid levels in our blood, like cholesterol and triglycerides in particular, and high blood pressure. And the usual line of treatment for alcoholic fatty liver is not to consume alcohol, as simple as that, because that is the main reason for which there is excess accumulation of fat in the liver. While in non-alcoholic fatty liver, a person is advised to lose weight, right? If overweight or obese, increase physical activity, have a balanced diet, remove um, these saturated fats, trans fat, or simple sugars from our diet, and include more of whole whole grains or nuts and seeds, vegetables, fruits, and avoid alcohol as well. And of course, medications, some of the medications also lead to fatty liver. In alcoholic type of fatty liver disease, there is excess inflammation involved. There is excess fibrosis involved. There is excess degeneration of hepatocytes, which are the liver cells involved. While this is less pronounced in non-alcoholic fatty liver. So today's session will be more focused on non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, because this is the one which is linked to lifestyle uh, disorders, right? Lifestyle changes. And you can see here in this graph, the distribution of NAFLD, or the prevalence of NAFLD across the different continents. And it is a staggering number. What does it mean? Every one individual among four is affected by fatty liver, right? I mean, this is extremely, um, um, scary, right? This situation, because 25 million people, or 25% of the population across the world, is affected by fatty liver. And that's why it's also called as a silent killer of 21st century, because a lot of us don't even realize that we might have fatty liver, right? Because of our changing lifestyle. And that's how this becomes very important to understand what is it all about and how is it caused. So some of the common well-known reasons or causes of fatty liver is, of course, obesity, alcohol, excess alcoholic consumption, diabetes, elevated blood lipid levels, or rapid weight loss. These are all under our control, right? Which are modifiable risk factors. While some, like genetic inheritance, or maybe because of medications, which is unavoidable for some other condition, these are may or may not be completely under our control. definitely medications to an extent, because a lot of us have a habit of popping pills for every small issue which we face, right? So that is something which one needs to control. Having something like a paracetamol also on a regular basis will have an effect on our liver. So these are some of the causes which you can control and are the major risk factors of causing fatty liver. Some of the common symptoms which are associated with fatty liver is abdominal pain, easy bruising. So one can get easily bruised, or there can be weight loss, or excessive fatigue, dark urine, nauseated, or loss of appetite. The stools can be pale or jaundice. But then these are issues which can be commonly associated with various other issues also, and that's how it gets kind of neglected, and that's how it's known as the silent killer. Now let us understand some of these lifestyle factors such as obesity, excess fat in our body. How does it affect the fatty liver, the condition fatty liver? How does it cause the condition fatty liver? Now, in a we all know we have all heard about leptin, right? We have learnt about leptin, which is a satiety hormone, which is released by the adipose tissue, the fat tissue. Now, in a normal, healthy, normal weight individual, what happens is the leptin produced, the adipose tissue is in control, that there is less amount of adipose tissue, and the leptin produced by the adipose tissue, what does it do? It has a function of also storing excess fat in the liver to a right amount. Any extra amount it mobilizes out of these non-adipose tissue, right? But then when the person is excessively fat, has excess fat around his abdominal region especially, what happens is there is excess adipose tissue accumulated, there is excess fat and excess leptin as well. Right now, there is excess leptin in our body causing hyperleptinemia. Now, this is a situation very similar to insulin sensitivity, right? Where the body cells stop responding to insulin because of excessive insulin exposure. Similarly, when there is excess leptin in our body, what happens is the cells stop uh, responding to the leptin, and therefore there is excess accumulation of fat in the liver, right, in the adipose tissue, and there is excess free fatty acid which is released, which is converted to triglycerides. Now this starts getting deposited in the liver. It is not mobilized, and you can see here in this um, zoomed zoomed in picture the cells of the liver. These are hepatocytes, and these yellow dots are the fat droplets which starts getting accumulated. They damage the nucleus of the cell, which is known as the brain of the cell, right? And brain is one of the integral, most important part of our body. Similarly, nucleus is a most important part of the cell, which contains the genetic material, and they start getting damaged. And this excess fat deposition is called as steatosis. But then this is a reversible condition. By bringing about lifestyle changes, it can be reversed back to the normal healthy liver. Further, if one doesn't take care, it progresses into NASH condition, wherein there is even more deposition of fat in the hepatocytes. The hepatocytes are now damaged because of excess fat. Now, because it also leads to excess inflammation. It triggers formation of excess collagen fibers, making the cells very rigid, very stiff, unlike its usual healthy fluidic condition, right? If kept unchecked, it further progresses to a irreversible condition, which is cirrhosis, which is complete liver damage. The cells are dead, right? The hepatocytes are dying now because of excess fibrosis, excess inflammation. They don't have space to, and therefore they lose their usual liver functions. And that can have a deleterious effect on the entire system, because as we know, liver is the workhorse, and it stops functioning, and it has a lot of other negative effects on the body. And interestingly, there was this paper which was published this year. It demonstrates the impact of plant-based diets. Now, this was a study which was done in US on the participants aged 18 years and above. And they were from the US National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, wherein they identified some 3,900 participants, and they were screened using FibroScan, which is a non-invasive technique to identify the deposition of fat in the liver. The expert doctors can identify whether a person is affected by fatty liver or not, and that's how they identified 1,686 participants among 3,900 and selected them into the study. Here they started monitoring their dietary habits, right? And they had several distributed these diet into different food groups, and they started following their dietary habits. And what they did was they divided them into different, or rather the analysis was done basis different statistical considerations. Okay, so what they saw was people in general, if they have a plant-based diet, right, which is called here as plant-based diet index. This is a measure score which is given depending on what kind of diet is consumed, plant-based diet is consumed. What they saw was there was no correlation of fatty liver, having fatty liver when people are having more of plant-based diet. There is no association. But then when they further segregated them basis healthy and unhealthy type of plant-based diet, they saw a very interesting data. What they saw was there was an inverse correlation between healthy plant-based diet and fatty liver. What does it mean? It means if you consume more of healthful plant diet, it means the person has less chances of having fatty liver. While if one person takes more of unhealthful plant diet, right, when this was seen, there was a direct correlation, which means if you consume more of unhealthful plant-based diet, there is more chances of fatty liver, right? And this was seen in all these three different models, wherein in model 1 they had segregated them or nullified them as per the age, right? Because since they were from 18 and above, they were different age groups. They nullified, took into account this age factor, and they saw that there is no correlation, while the correlation is strong in healthful individuals. In model 2, wherein they nullified them basis various other factors like physical activity, their marital status, their education, whether they have diabetes, whether they consume alcohol, smoke, etc. Even then, there was a little bit of association with overall plant diet, but then the association was stronger in healthful plant diet. When they segregated them or nullified the BMI factor, still they saw that effect. So all these factors, what does it indicate? That in all these aspects, there is a strong correlation in having healthful plant diets, right? When we say healthful, which is minimally processed, which is not having these simple sugars, not having excessive saturated fat or trans fat, while unhealthful plant-based diet may include relatively less amount of animal-based protein, but all these other unwanted processed food is higher in these kind of subjects. So um, this indicates that how important is to have more of plant-based diet. And even in the plant-based diet, it is more important to have plant-based proteins, right? And how does it affect the liver? Let's understand in a situation where there is low protein in the diet. When there is low protein, it lacks a lot of branch chain amino acids, right? The branch chain amino acids like leucine, isoleucine, valine. These are all important critical amino acids required, and methionine required for our gut microbiota. It maintains the diversity of our gut microbiome, the various bacteria in our gut, right, which we have learned. Now, if there is a change, if there is a reduction in low protein, there is a change in this gut microbiota composition, right? And this has a direct impact on the liver function. There is changes in the metabolic functioning of the liver, and this leads to excessive fat storage in the liver and leading to fatty liver and NAFLD development. How does it happen, right? How does protein affect the liver function? If you see in this picture, when we consume more of vegetable proteins, which are also rich in prebiotic fiber, right? There is a normal hepatic lipid oxidation which happens, right? Basically, the fat um, detoxification, right, which happens in the liver, which is a normal process. It also prevents, a dysbiosis or a what you said imbalance in the gut microbiota or the gut environment, including a lot of monounsaturated fatty acid and omega-3 UFAs also has an anti-inflammatory effect, right? And it also maintains the insulin sensitivity in the liver. But what happens when you include more of simple sugars, saturated and trans fat, animal-based protein, because animal-based proteins are rich in saturated fat? There is de novo lipogenesis, which means there is excessive production of cholesterol or lipids within the liver. It triggers those enzymes. It increases hepatic fatty acid uptake. There is excessive storage of these excess fat in our body, right? And all this, and similarly, when there is high content of sodium, presence of preservatives, additives, trans fat, it leads to insulin resistance. And all this dysregulates or imbalances the lipid breakdown in the liver and affects the liver functioning by accumulating excessive fat in the liver. And in particular, when you look at plant-based protein, especially the soy protein, this is a very interesting study, which was which shows that soy protein has multiple effects. Soy protein has less of lysine to arginine ratio and higher glycine amount, and that has a beneficial effect on the pancreas, maintaining a low insulin to glucagon ratio. And when this is maintained, the SREBP1, which is a transcription factor, so this can be, compared to kick-starting your bike, right? Or, pressing the start button to start the bike, right? Our bikes will not start unless we switch on the ignition of your car, right? Similarly, SREBP1 is a transcription factor which works like a switch. It activates several genes which code for the enzymes which are involved in cholesterol synthesis, lipid synthesis. Now, when this is maintained, this ratio is maintained, this is not activated, and therefore the enzymes involved in various lipid um, um, enzyme synthesis involved in the lipid synthesis are not triggered, and therefore there is lesser of triglycerides, lesser of cholesterol. Soy protein also has a positive effect on adipose tissue. So it keeps the adipose tissue in check, right? And therefore there is not much of free fatty acid released into the bloodstream, which then leads to triglyceride formation, right? And this is reduced. The amount of VLDL, which is low lipoproteins, very low density lipoproteins are also not produced. It has also other effect through its isoflavones form, right? The isoflavones are the ingredients in or the components in soy protein like genistein or diadzine, which has a positive effect as well, which reduces the amount of oxidized VLDL by working as antioxidants. They take care of various reactive oxygen species, and therefore they do not allow the lipoproteins to get oxidized, and therefore there is lesser of inflammation, and there is also lesser of cholesterol because it upregulates another switch which is SREBP2, which is involved in taking up a lot of cholesterol which is there in our blood into the liver, and therefore it clears our bloodstream out of a lot of cholesterol. And this altogether has a beneficial effect on our kidney because now there is reduced inflammation. It also is involved in increased amount of nitric oxide, which is an important gas for vasodilation, keeps the blood vessels in a flexible condition, right? And this increases the renal flow in the kidney, and therefore the overall system is in a healthy condition. So therefore, it's important that we include more of plant-based protein, and we saw that how soy protein has a beneficial effect on our liver as well. Here is a study which was very recently published in 2023, right, which is a case control study where there was no intervention of any any product, but then it was monitored basis their regular food intake. And in this, there were 243 subjects who were enrolled in the age group of 19 to 70 years. They were divided into two groups, one group which had fatty liver disease and the other group which was normal. And they were matched in terms of age, BMI, and gender, and their diet was evaluated. Their basis the food frequency questionnaire. Now, what kind of diet are they including in their diet? And what did they observe? If there is more of protein intake, the risk of having NAFDL was reduced. So the people who included more of total protein in their diet, their condition improved. And even in that, plant protein intake had a much more significant effect on the reduction in the risk of NAFLD, while animal protein consumption increased the risk of NAFLD. So, why does it happen? This is because animal protein has several such amino acids, like which are sulfur containing, like cysteine, right? Homocysteine. These are high sulfur containing amino acids, and this leads to an acidic environment in the liver, right? And it also has other type of amino acids like glutamate and ornithine, which leads to increased production of ammonia, which is again very deleterious to us, right? And this together has negative impact on the liver functioning. But then plant protein has good amino acids, right, which are beneficial for the liver, like our glycine or our glutamate, which requires a lot of hydrogen atoms to metabolize them. And this creates an alkaline environment in the liver. And therefore, the liver functioning is optimal because the liver requires such a condition. And that is the reason why plant protein is more beneficial than animal protein because of the kind of amino acid composition and in each of these proteins. Now, there are a lot of myths and facts associated with fatty liver or consumption of protein by itself. Like, high protein intake always harms the liver is a myth. Maybe we all have heard that in our lifetime, right, wherein we have heard that we should not have a lot of protein, it will harm our liver, it puts a lot of pressure on our liver, which is not true, it's a myth, because the fact is liver requires protein. A moderate to high amount of protein is not at all harmful to our liver. In fact, proteins are required, as we just saw how important protein is for our liver functions. However, individuals with some pre-existing liver conditions should definitely consult their healthcare professional, their doctors, before getting on to any kind of supplementation or change in their diet. But definitely one should remove the myth from their minds that protein rich diets are harming our liver. They are definitely also not a primary cause of fatty liver at all. In fact, it is beneficial. The fatty liver is caused due to excessive weight, because of which again is because of excessive calorie intake, no physical activity. All these are the reasons why there is fatty liver. Fatty liver affects individuals who are overweight or obese. Again, being overweight and obese definitely is a major risk factor of having fatty liver, but then this is not the only risk factor, right? There are various other risk factors as well, and therefore people who are thinner also can be affected by fatty liver. So therefore, the tips to have a healthy liver is to have a balanced diet. We again boil down to our foundation of health principles, right? These are our the foundation of health principles. So you can see that how important these principles, which we have been advocating from the start of a session, is to have a balanced diet, to include more of plant-based protein, limit alcohol consumption, stop if you can, stay hydrated, maintain a healthy weight, exercise regularly. We have to keep our body always active. Our body is made for activity, right? Not to sit. Limit processed foods and sugars. Consume liver friendly foods, which can be more of vegetables, fruits, nuts, rich in good protein, right? Plant protein. Moderate caffeine intake, limit our salt intake, and be cautious. While taking supplements, we need to be aware of what is the type of supplement we are consuming. Manage stress and a regular health checkup. So, as we mentioned, it is not visible. So, only a regular health checkup will tell you by looking at our liver function test, right? Whether there is any change in the enzymes which are looked at while doing the liver function test. If there is any changes in the liver composition, right? This is the only way through which we can identify whether our liver is functioning well. So with that, we come to the end of the session today, and we have the activity of the day for you. Please share one protein rich recipe with your creative twist. And with that, I would end my session, and thank you so much. Have a great day. Over to you, Lata.
Thank you so much, Aparna, for sharing the rich knowledge about how important we having the healthy liver, and what are the causes for us to have why we have a fatty liver, alcoholic and non-alcoholic fatty livers, and how they impact our body functions, and how it has to be taken care, and also how the plant, more of the consuming a plant-based food will definitely help in taking care of the our liver function, and especially when it comes to a protein, how protein is plays a major role in taking care of the liver health, especially plant based protein, how it's going to help and improve our function of a healthy liver and help us in having a healthy liver. We really learned a lot, and especially the last page that you shared, the tips, those are the tips, very simple ones. Even if we follow that, most of it can be taken care. And I've really learned a lot today about this topic, and I'm sure same with our participants also. So they've taken this knowledge, and I'm sure they will also be following every suggestions that you have given and the knowledge that you have shared. And the same way, the activities that you have shared, preparing the protein rich recipes, and then sharing it, and then they having it, definitely all of us will together follow, and we ensure that we work towards having a healthier liver. So thank you so much, Aparna, joining today, being there with us and helping all of us, with the knowledge of having a healthy liver. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our next aspect. Even Aparna also mentioned in the tips that she shared. So, what is that? Along with a balanced diet and other aspects, even the regular exercise plays a major role. So, that's what we're going to move today to the second aspect. So we have. Meenal, fitness coach, who will be helping us in this aspect. So, but yeah, so she's not available. She has shared a workout video with us. So let's play and all of us, do a workout together. So can we have a video, please?
Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's session. So let's get started with today's session. And here we go. We'll start with some warm-up moves on the mat, and post that we'll start with the workout. So let's get started. So we'll start with core workout. So let's get into the warm-up with the bridge position. Your feet, hips, shoulder, all will be in one straight line. Tap the core in, lengthen that spine on the mat. Each and every vertebrae down to the mat. Squeeze up and rise. Lengthen that spine. Each and every vertebrae getting that length and stretch up and down. So this is one. Still you will have your hips up. So you're coming low and up, but you're not resting down on the mat. So the idea is to squeeze, but not relax up. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax up. Each and every vertebrae on the mat is how you relax. Tap your navel in, squeeze. This time, we'll lengthen our hands up in the bridge position itself. We'll squeeze up. So something like you have your hands up in the bridge position. 1, 2. So you're going to squeeze up, but you're going to bring your palms down. Squeezing like 2. And then relax up. 3, 4, 5. Squeeze. 6, 7. I know it looks very simple, but once you get doing it, it pulls all your muscles. So when you are doing the squeeze from the back, yes, use all your muscles right from your scapula here to your lats. This is what you're going to squeeze. Lengthen, squeeze. Lengthen, squeeze. Lengthen, squeeze. So I'm going to squeeze all the muscles in the back to frame up. So lengthen and squeeze down. Lengthen and squeeze down. We'll do 15 of these. But if you think you cannot do 15, do 8 plus 8. But it has to be a nice squeeze. The lower part of your head has to be on the mat. So either open up your hair or just keep your, your hair tied up very high. The idea is that this lower part of your head has to be on the mat. 15 to 20 of these. Let's go. Squeeze and bring it down. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep squeezing. 5, 6, 7. You will not rest up. So your palms are lengthened, your core is tightened, but you're not resting up your bridge. You're not resting up your bridge on the mat. Core stays engaged, your spine stays lengthened, not resting up. Okay. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax up. Each and every vertebrae down to the mat. Take a nice deep breath. You can also squeeze side to side. Both the sides. Now, the same format. Your hands are pulled up. You are in a bridge. You are tucking the core in. This time you're not lifting the bridge up. You are just squeezing the upper abs. Okay, so the lower abdominal muscles are anyways engaged. Here, squeezing your upper abs, you're gonna stretch and rise up. So you will not pull your neck here. No movement by pulling up the neck. You are just tucking your chin to the chest. That is something which we usually do in a normal bridge position as well. So your chin is tucked to the chest, your spine and your neck is neutral in one straight line. And when you lift with that neutral neck and the spine. So here you go, something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So feel that squeeze here. We'll not do many of these, but just to get that, understanding of the core, you're going to feel that squeeze here in your upper abs. Your lower abdominal muscles are anyways tight as you squeeze your glutes down to the mat. So rise up and see how far you can rise up. With this, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax up, take a breather. Now the same thing we're going to repeat, but with the butterfly legs. So we do that butterfly stretch. Your both the feet together. So let's do that. Squeeze together. So what is happening now? You have a full stretch to your inner thighs. You have a full stretch to your glutes here. Now engage your lower abdominal muscles. And the same thing that the pull we're doing, we're going to rise up. So it's not a full rise up. We're not sitting up in it. We just want that engagement here. So pull your both the hands out, lengthen. Now squeeze as we move up and up. So something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, take a breather. So did you see that by just simply defining these muscles separately, how killer the whole thing looks? I know, on like outside doesn't look like, oh, there's some lot of work happening, but once you're doing it, you know the kind of a muscle squeeze that's happening. So all those people who have this, post-pregnancy fat, and they are, figuring out the way to get that core muscles engaged, this is a format which you have to follow. Okay, not any other format. You don't have to sit up. Do not put undue pressure on your core. Okay, the only pressure which your core has to get is the engagement pressure. That's it. Okay, so don't put in a lot of pressure by doing crunches and sit-ups. In fact, right now, post-pregnancy, your central line is already dislocated, and like there is a separation of your core muscles. Okay, so you don't want to pressurize this in a format that it actually opens up. Have you seen that number of stomach hernia cases have been rising because everybody is wanting to get back into shape in like quick, like this doesn't happen. Yeah, so in that process, you hurt yourself, you injure yourself. Okay, so don't do sit-ups, don't do crunches, do this formation. So we start with simple, very simple bridges. Then you start with just the engagement with the hands. Then you start with the engagement and your butterfly legs. Okay, so this is a format you have to follow in case you have a diastema recti or any muscle separation problem. Now we move on to the second space, where we're going to use the weights and do sit-ups and crunches. Now this is something everybody else can do, but if somebody already has something which is related with the core problems, like I said, muscle dislocation or a hernia or some ulceritis or any problem related with the core region, stay with the format in which you are doing workouts but without using the weights and without rising up. Just being there and taking control. Yeah. So we're going to start with the crunches here. The idea is to squeeze and rise up with full sit up. Okay. Anybody who's not able to do a full sit up can do a half sit up, which means like you'll go back to a position from where you can get back up. So let me show you the data. So full sit-up would be you are on the mat, you're going to squeeze and rise up. So this is like a full sit-up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now what will be a half sit-up? So you are here, you squeezing your core. You are here, you squeezing your core, but you're going down only to a level from where you can rise up. So keep your weight in your hands just to the level from where you can rise up. So this could be here. This could be just here. So anywhere from here you can get back up. So that is a negative movement. So from where you are rising back up is a negative movement of that muscle instead of rising up from the mat. Yeah. Let's do the second set. A slight variation in the second set. We have our weight up in the hands. Okay. Your legs will be 90 degrees. Now, both the times your weight is going down, but only a single leg will go down. Okay, I know we can do both the legs also down, but then that little tricky for the people with the spine problem, back pain. Okay, so I'm not doing that. Otherwise, a beautiful workout, a simple hollow hold. So you literally take your both legs and hands down, and then you bring it back, and then you take both hands and legs down, and then bring it back. So I would love to do it. I would love you all to try it. But yeah, it's a little tricky for the people who have a inflamed spine. Okay, so without any support, if you take your legs down straight and then you bring it up, if you already have an inflammation in your spine, instead of using your core muscles, you pull little pressure to your spine. So if you can't do it, try doing it. Otherwise, do a single leg movement. That's also great movement. Okay. And when I say these like a core move doesn't mean it's like only restricted to your core. It's a complete full body workout along with that. But yeah, it's not specifically targeted to your legs like that. So that's why we call it core, because your powerhouse is driving all the moves. But here, yes, we're working on the mobility, we're working on the stability, we're working on your whole body endurance. So let's start with single leg. I want you to keep that control in your legs. No cycling, no quick paddling and pushing, but rather a very soft move to understand. So squeeze, you're going to rise with your both hands. Don't lift a weight which gets too heavy for you to hold. I want rather something which is comfortable for you to hold, because it's going to be long. We'll do at least 10 reps both the sides. So squeeze. This also is 90 degree. Your legs will not keep falling down. Okay. Now a single leg goes down and then bring yourself up. Then a single leg goes down and bring yourself up. So 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. Relax up. How is it? Again, looks very simple, but once you start doing it, you understand the kind of a kill it is. Okay. One more thing, if you're not comfortable with holding weight in your hand and doing it, it's absolutely okay to do it holding a cushion or anything. So the whole idea is about stabilizing your muscle group. So just hold it here and this. Now take it back and then bring. Now take it back here and here. Back and here. So it's absolutely okay that you do it holding a cushion, you do it holding a water bottle. The idea is that your core is engaged and you are using your stabilizers, you are using your glutes to lengthen, using your quads as you stretch out, your hamstrings are engaged. So the whole engagement of of your muscle groups is what matters. Let's do the next set. In the next set, all those people who can pull both the legs, do it. Okay, I'll also do with you. So I wanted to show you this one set without, I want to show you this one set without the, both those leg movements, so that you can keep sticking with that. Everyone else can stay with that single movement. We will do double leg movement for those people who can easily do it. Easily in the sense it's going to be challenging anyways. But yeah, it's not bringing any pressure to your, lower lumbar spine. You're not feeling that pull there. Then you can comfortably do both the legs. But its hollow hold is anyways very, you know what it is like? It's like as if somebody is pulling half of your body down, another half down. And when it is being pulled, you are already in the air. We do that stretch otherwise also. Yeah. But that is like you are in a corpse pose or you are in a shavasana on the mat. But here, it's only your hips which are holding on the mat. The rest both is in the air. So yeah, beautiful. Let's do 10 of these again, not too many. Squeeze, hold tight. You're gonna lengthen that spine. Hold it up. So hold time. You're gonna keep breathing. Only the muscle group is what you hold it, not anything else. Yeah. So you are here. Squeeze and both the legs and hands. So here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax up, take a breather. Okay. This is another variation of a hollow hold. Why? Because we still have our upper body rested here. Yeah, there's a full stretch, all that is happening, but your vertebrae are still on the mat. How about if we don't have anything other than the hips on the mat? Which means that you are holding only this. So you're going to squeeze and this. You're going to squeeze and this. You're going to squeeze and this. Squeeze and then this. So this is not rested. You're not. We'll not do it today, but I'm just giving you the idea. So that's gonna be the complete hollow hold. This, if you are able to do this, yeah, you're good. But yes, there's another step to rise up. Yeah, take a breather. So we're gonna do the third set. Now, third set, up to you. You wanna do single leg movement? Great. You wanna do both the legs movement? Great. But you know, every time you're moving, feel it. So now, even if it is a single leg movement, feel that how from your lower abdominal muscle, this leg gets stretched. Feel the whole stretch here. Yeah, I know it comes to your quads also. You feel it in your calf muscles as well. But yes, again, drive it from here. When you're driving it from the core, your spine is resting. Now, if you start using your legs more and keep your mind connection with anything other than that, then you know your pressure comes on spine as well, because this is not engaged. Okay, so keep it from here. Everything else will start falling in. Squeeze up, lengthen, both the knees together, flex. Now both the ways, whichever way you want to do. So here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a breather. Just stretch it both the sides as you lengthen. Okay, in the next move, we'll have a single leg movement. Okay, so a single leg movement in a bridge while a single leg is up. So yeah, again, this again looks very simple, but yeah, it kills your hamstrings, kills your quads, kills your core. So your one leg is rested, your other leg is raised up. So now everything else is out. Through the core, you're gonna push up, and through the glutes, you're gonna engage. So something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. 1, 2. So it's a single leg thrust. You can make it slightly more easy by bending your knee and by lifting your other leg also on the heel or a toes, whichever ways you feel more comfortable and whichever ways gives you more range. So it's the same thing, what I'm doing right now is a straight leg. Yeah. So it takes a lot of effort to push and lots of effort to bring this straight up. Now, if I just raise it on the toes or the heel, yeah, and bend my knee and then move it, this, yeah, so the whole movement becomes slightly more flexible. So pick whichever way you feel more comfortable. Yeah, let's move on to the third side. We'll not push more than 10 of this. Anybody feeling the cramp in the hamstring or like your calves here? So yes, these workouts are challenging. They actually engage your muscle group. So like that, it's challenging. But then, when you do something and your body starts telling you something, it's only when you do something that your body will tell you. You got it? Like if you're not working out and you're staying in a very comfortable thing all the time. So even if there's something deficient and some deficiencies happening, your body is not able to tell you, right? So if it is all this cramping and all that is basically your multivitamins or sorry. So you really need to check on your magnesium, calcium, and all that, and see what's making you cramp so much when you're working out. Yeah. So do get those tests done to identify. So it's not just the workout which is a killer. There must be some deficiency also, which is what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, these are great workouts. So every time you do some workout and you feel, oh, my leg starts cramping when I do these. So please get it checked. The other side, core tight. So both ways, you can keep your knees slightly flexed, palms out, squeeze and rise up. So this one. So again, I'm not keeping it back all the time. It's a constant tension which I'm creating every time. Yeah. So my core is also not arched. It has to be down in such a way that my hand was not able to come out because my entire vertebrae, the line of vertebrae is down to the mat. Yeah. So no arching. Squeeze and lift. So here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Killer moves. Yes. Both the sides. Stretch. I'll share the music. Lengthen. So because we've done a lot of core moves here, so let's stretch in the prone position. So I want you to go down in the cobra pose. Mat in the cobra pose. Feel that? Rub your palms. Oh, I forgot to share the music. I thought I've shared the music. Rub your palms over to your eyes. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Have a great day.
I'm sure all of you would have enjoyed working out, and take care, and have a healthy day. And I'm sure you all will prepare the protein rich recipes and have it and share it as well in the groups. So see you all. Take care.